Hey guys, so I'm back. I wanted to really explain, why it didn't work out in the US. I came back thinking that maybe I could transition my life back over here, there are better resources for the long haul, things of that nature, and being back near family, getting things kind of back to normal before I left for Philippines. And it just really didn't work out like that. It really didn't. And so it didn't really work out because I don't know. I came back a totally different person than when I left. I had made my own choices in life. I had a big dilemma with acceptance and commitment to past choices, and not really understanding how to live with those things. So there was a lot of good and bad about coming back. I mulled over many times, if I wanted to uproot my life in Philippines and bring it all the way back here and start everything over. I had originally done my fiance's fiance visa back in March, and it's actually still going on, but we decided we're not going to follow through with it because I'm going back there and we're going to get married there. So we talked that over for a long time, and we came to realize that our life is much better there in the Philippines. My biggest thing here was I just didn't make enough money. I have a house here, I have bills here, that it's like trying to make ends meet. I just don't like it. I give kudos to myself for coming back and trying to make it work. Because for so long I told myself I would never go back to US, never. Ever since 2013, whenever I first moved here. I first moved to Philippines, I'm sorry. And so, after doing the treatment thing, I realized that, hey, my therapist actually helped me make some decisions by putting me on the spot and saying, hey, she really just broke it down like, hey, if you had to choose right now, if I had a gun to your head, are you gonna go and stay here in US, in Mississippi, and be miserable, or are you gonna go back to Philippines and live your life however you want to live it? And I was like, I really want to go back to Philippines. I've been lying to myself this whole time, thinking that it could work. So, that's the whole thing with getting myself back to Philippines, Mississippi. I think if maybe I would have came back and tried a different state, Texas, Florida, Colorado, somewhere that's a little more veteran friendly, it's just different. Maybe, but things, happen for a reason. So there, another good thing that I really enjoyed this summer was I got to go on a family vacation, which is something we used to do growing up with my family, my immediate family, my brother and my sister. And so that was a new thing this year for me to go. We went to Orange Beach in Alabama, which is right outside of Gulf Shores. And we stayed in a condo there, which is where we used to always kind of stay growing up. It was fun, getting to be close to my brother and my sister, because I haven't seen them in like 10 years, since I came back. And my brother having, a child, or two children. My brother, I remember when I left, my brother had his first daughter, and then now he has another one. And now, recently, as of 2 weeks ago, he had his firstborn son. So, congratulations to their family. And, but I was so happy to have gone on that vacation and spent that precious time with the family, an extended family. And it was really, really enjoyable. Getting to bond with my siblings, which I haven't done. When I left, my sister was still not even a teenager. She's 22 now. But, there's a lot of things that I really had to decide on. How can I make this work going forward? So I decided that once I go back to Philippines and I get my stuff in order, get resettled back there, I have a house there as well. Once I get settled, make it a priority to come back once a year or so. Do that family beach vacation that's so important, that it's just really it's really good for the soul. It really nurtures the soul. And that's one thing I'm really excited about that I said that I'm going to do. But it really didn't work here in the U.S. for a number of reasons. Me and my mother don't get along too well. She has her own issues, but it's just not a life I want to live here. I did my mother a favor by letting her move in with me when I bought my house before I decided to rent it when I leave. But there was a lot of conflicting issues, and I didn't really feel like I was the homeowner and getting to enjoy my first home ownership experience. I feel like my mother came in and took over, and I was living in my mother's house. Even though I'm paying all the bills, she chose to pay the cheapest bills possible, the internet, the water, stuff like that. So it was just a big mess, big mistake. I learned from it, I've been kind of haunted by it. I know that it was going to follow me for a long time, that I'm probably not going to have much to do with my mother after this. It's just one of those things. I know she tries hard in her own way, but it's just not meant to be. And so I'm really happy to go back and see my fiance. I miss her so much. She's such an incredible woman. And, be able to move forward with this YouTube channel, because she's going to be a big part of that as well, along with my son Ezra and my other son Adrian. I don't get to see as much. I have a lot of conflicting issues with his mother. Things have changed so much in the past year as far as my relationship with his mother, being on good terms, being able to be a father. But I don't stop. I'm constantly trying to give as much support as I can, whether financially or doing the video calls every day if possible. But, there's always some issues that are going to come up. And I just don't have time for that drama right now. In order to get to my son, I have to deal with a lot of insecurities from her, with her being, wanting to know every little detail about my personal life. And then, being stupid enough in the beginning to share some of those things with her. She uses it against me. She thinks she has some type of authority to decide that, the therapy that I went through or this and that wasn't enough. She thinks that, she thinks she knows what she's talking about, when I really think that she has some of her own demons that she's yet to deal with. And in the Philippines, there's a huge stigma with mental health. And I don't think that she will ever get to face those demons, just because of, her background, where she grew up, how she grew up. A lot of times Asian parents don't show their kids enough love, so they're kind of very emotionless. They're very just don't have much of a personality. It just, but whatever. Moving on. So, I'm coming up on a little bit over 2 weeks that I'll be out of here. So, like I said in the last video, October 8th, October 10th, I'm really keeping to that. And I'm happy that things are working out, right? I'm really happy to get back to the family, because it helps keep me accountable. It helps give me a lot more responsibility that I know is much more worth it. And so, moving forward, I'll be getting married by March. We're getting married, and we really hope things will go well, but with the virus situation, Philippines is their lockdown's crazy. You don't know what a lockdown is because if you're here in the U.S., you don't know what a lockdown is. They have it pretty bad there, and it's getting better. You know, they do every 2 weeks or so. They kind of reevaluate it, but I really have a good feeling that by the beginning of October, it's gonna get a lot better. So far, domestic tourism is like really the only thing that's gonna kick up a little bit. I heard a lot more hotels and stuff like that is opening up. But as far as international travel, you know, for just anyone and everyone, I think their expectations are counted by the end of the year, beginning of the, 2021, something like that. So it's not going to really be, much of a change when I get back. But I'm really looking forward to getting to see both of my kids, whenever I can make that happen. They do live on 2 different islands. But my son Ezra, I'm going to stay somewhere near here where he lives so that I can see him. And I got to do my 2-week quarantine when I first get there after I get my swab results back. And my fiance's meeting me there so she can stay with me. She's coming up from Mindanao, from Zamboanga, which is, it's quite a trip, but it's, it is what it is. And we're going to try to stay there by like a month, possibly 2 months for the rest of the year. And then we're going to kind of move on and, change things up a little bit. Because life does go forward. You don't have to just sit around and wait forever. You can do whatever you can. I definitely will be saving a lot more money. That's a good plus because having the house rented here in Mississippi, not having some of those really heavy bills, having a house there that's already paid for, just do a little minor touch-up work just to kind of make it more comfortable as we go along. It's free. And I'm really just excited, for what's to come. I'm trying to get over having so much social anxiety. I'm not good with people. I'm not good with even social media. I get social anxiety from that as well. And so trying to push myself to go through this and do this YouTube video for the channel, it's a big thing for me, a big step for me, to put myself out there, to tell my story, to kind of be, I guess as raw as possible. And it's something that is helping me to better myself, to get more confidence, to work through some more of the little underlying trauma that's there that makes me feel like I'm not really worthy, or, I'm so unequal, so inadequate to others. And there's a lot of things like that I still deal with every day. I've been drinking a lot of beer, a lot of alcohol since I've been back. It's like a coping mechanism. I don't have my family here. I don't have my normal responsibilities here. Just kind of masking the pain, numbing the PTSD. And, it's become a problem. I'm not like getting drunk, but I've realized it's a pattern that I do. And I really want to move on from that. I keep telling myself that I'm not going to carry this over into the Philippines, which I really don't think that I will. But reality is that, hey, it could happen. I just need help and, people to help keep me accountable and to get me through it. I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that, but I just do need the help. I want my life back. I feel like I've been living in limbo here in the U.S. and just going through the motions. But yeah, getting back to the Philippines is number one, the most important thing, and rebuilding that relationship with my kids. I know they don't understand this whole virus because, hey, when you're 2 years old, 4 years old, you have no clue about a virus and why you're locked down and why you can't go outside the house other than going to like McDonald's or even Jollibee. It's a big thing. So I'm really looking forward to some of those small things that I can do to kind of hey, you know, make my kids' lives better. So, but guys, I really appreciate you listening to my story. This would be part 2 of my story of, you know, I guess ending up in Philippines. I really appreciate you guys listening and watching the video. And if you don't mind, if you would please subscribe and like, and hey, if you got any questions or anything like that, anything to say, good or bad, just comment. I don't mind. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.